Hello again, Struck. May is here, and so are the plethora of releases, new games, upcoming games to play. Yesterday, I uploaded the upcoming high profile AAA and other popular titles video, and now it's time for the Underdogs, the 3D Underdogs games that are coming in May to get their time in under the spotlight. I will be making a video for two-dimensional underdogs, two-dimensional low profile games, but this one will be dedicated to 3D, three-dimensional games of all types that I believe deserve the attention, even though they might not be some big massive titles that have garnered a lot of attention. I do believe they are worth putting on one of my monthly struck lists. So there will be, as I mentioned, games of all types, all kind of genres. So hopefully you find something that is worth putting on your radar based on your preference and types of games you want to play. Buckle up, strike up, and let's go. The first title on this list is called World Turtles. The World Turtle carries entire civilizations on its back through outer space, and the gentle meeps are the only ones on a quest to save it. Cooperation rather than conquest will save the day, so prepare to harvest, build, research, and explore the void in this wholesome turtle back builder. Releasing on the 1st of May 2023, developed by Recognition and published by Freedom Games. It's an interesting colony sim slash city builder game where just like another game that launched several months ago, the city building is happening at the back of a giant turtle. Except here, you might end up maybe meeting other turtles. Who knows how the story will unfold? But the game looks very fun and promising, so hope you enjoy it. Another title published by Freedom Games, this one developed by Gellyberry Studios with a G, releasing on the 1st of May 2023, is Ethyrial Echoes of Yore, which is an interesting indie MMORPG project. Enter a world on the brink of a civil war and discover the secrets of Irumesa in an old school, hardcore MMORPG. Navigate treacherous politics, fight terrifying monsters, foster mighty guilds with friends, and usher in a golden era, or drown Irumesa in the dark ages. So if you have an itch to scratch for old school hardcore MMORPGs, or if you need to quench a thirst for old school MMORPGs, that's the game to put on your radar. Not my kind of MMORPG, not my cup of tea, that whole old school hardcore setting, but I'm pretty sure there will be quite a solid number of players who will be interested in this one. I'll probably try to keep a close eye on this one for a while just to know how things unfold with it. But overall, I think it's been a while since we had a promising indie MMORPG releasing such as this one. So definitely worth giving it a go if you have the chance to do so and if you need that type of a game in your life. The next title on this list is called KAKU or KAKU Ancient Seal. I think it's KAKU, but hopefully I'm not mispronouncing. So KAKU Ancient Seal puts players in the role of KAKU, who's tasked with going on a journey across a sprawling continent to restore balance to the land. Accompanied by your pet pig, you have to brave the four elemental regions and conquer their worlds if you're to fulfill your destiny. An open world exploration based action RPG that seems to have fun, interesting combat. Hopefully, the combat is plentiful and the puzzles and jumping puzzles and stuff like that are less in the priority base because the game looks fun, but it will be early access game when it releases on the 4th of May 2023 and developed and published by BingoBell. The biggest problem that I've seen with some of those games is sometimes they try to be more of a jumping puzzle platformer, 3D platformer game rather than an action RPG. And they're focusing more on the boring parts rather than the fun combat and itemization and build diversity. The game doesn't look bad when it comes to animations and when it comes to combat fluidity. So definitely worth giving it kudos and credits for that, because the trailer that you're seeing at the time, um, watching as I'm speaking, definitely has some amazing boss fights and some amazing not so boss fights as well, where they're fighting some elite or regular monsters. Um, Hopefully they have also different difficulty settings so that hardcore and casual players both can enjoy the game when it comes out. The next title on this list is called Ravenlok, and it's the next game from KAKU Cucumber, the creators of Echo Generation and River Bond. And it has the same distinct 3D pixel art style to it, but this time around it's an action RPG, an open world action RPG, or maybe not so open world, it's hard to tell from the trailer. But you embark on an enchanting journey in Ravenwalk, an action-packed fairy tale adventure about a young heroine destined to fulfill a perilous prophecy. So, action RPG, battle monsters and bosses with real-time combat, fantasy reimagined, delve into a mystical, whimsical realm, and there's an enchanting story where you meet curious creatures and complete quests to find tyranny. There's also a motif orchestral score to accompany the adventure and the grand finale of the Coco Cucumber Voxel trilogy, which would be again Riverbond, Echo Generation, and Ravenwalk. I played Echo Generation, not my cup of tea. It has good stuff about it, but this one is a completely different genre now. Instead of a team-based party RPG, tactical turn-based RPG, this time they're going for an action RPG flavor and flair. And what definitely stands out is the visuals. If you are looking for another story-rich action RPG to explore with unique visuals, this one should be it. It will be releasing for multiple platforms: Epic, Microsoft Store, Xbox Access One, as well as on Game Pass. So at least the entry to test it, if you have already Game Pass, won't be much. Next up, here we have something called Pen Orama with an apostrophe after the pen, which is an interesting 3D city builder with procedural generation and interesting, cute design, voxelish kind of. Relaxing and soothing puzzle simulation game in which you create amazing landscapes using different types of tiles, but most of all by discovering the connections between them and finding unique combinations. Developed by Chicken Launcher and published by Awaken Realms, it has a playable demo on Steam. So if you're interested in such a type of game, definitely check it out because it looks promising, and I really love the visuals they've decided to go with for Panorama. Releasing on the 9th of May 2023. Next up is Voodoo's, releasing on the 11th of May 2023, developed by Siderift and published by Tate Multimedia. I got the chance to play a press release demo some months ago, and it's not a bad game. It's not the most amazing tower defense out there, but it is a fun tower defense, and it has its unique spin on it with those planets, those 3D movable globe planets as maps. It's a cooperative action tower defense game in spherical worlds. You play as voodoo dolls looking for redemption and are forced to protect your puppet master from the demons that are chasing you. Friends, totems, and rituals will be your most valuable assets during this crazy adventure. There is interesting itemization, character development, skill obtaining, permanent progression thing with your different traps and turrets and etc. that you can build, and the different abilities each of the dolls has to offer some diversity. So if you're looking for something like that, hopefully they've improved on the performance, because that was the one thing that was lacking during the demo. Next up is a visually stunning, beautiful title in terms of art direction. Doesn't seem like something that's my kind of genre, a 3D action platformer, adventure, puzzle exploration game. But After Us is coming for multiple platforms on the 23rd of May 2023, such as Steam, PlayStation 5, Xbox XS, and It is definitely interesting. Explore the corners of a surrealistic post-human world to give life on Earth a second chance in this touching story about sacrifice and hope. Developed by KAKU, published by Private Division. If that's the type of game you want, you will definitely have a lot of fun with it. From the looks of what they're showing in various trailer footage, and again, visually, they're using colors and contrast very well in the art direction of this game. It seems like it will have a compelling story for those of you who enjoy story, who play games for the story. But as I said, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's a niche market, but a niche market with a growing audience. Although every single genre is a niche of its own. The 3D adventure platformers definitely have been getting more and more momentum lately, and we've been seeing more and more beautiful projects like this one showing up. Next up, we have another game with its own unique, distinct art style and direction. Above Snakes is an open world survival craft kind of um, base building game. Piece by piece, create your own world and survive in this Wild West inspired survival RPG. Craft, farm, hunt, build your base, and fight in order to stay alive. Releasing on the 25th of May 2023 by Square Great Games and published by Crytivo, which again very interesting looking take on the survival crafting open world genre. I really find it interesting how they decide to go for those weird small maps that are like floating islands or whatever on its own. So you probably have multiple of those to explore. Not sure if they're randomly generated or they're pre-generated, whether there is a single player story or whether it's a sandbox experience. I do see some NPC dialogue out there. I do see some interaction with NPCs. So if you're looking for something like that, Above Snakes seems to be what could help you have your feel of this genre on the 25th of May 2023. The next game on the list is Railway Empire 2, developed by Gaming Mind Studios and published by Calypso Media. Don't the code of a clever entrepreneur take over a small railway company in the early 1800s and turn your steam engines into the workhorses of the economy. Grow your company into the largest railway company of the continent and outsmart your competitors. So yeah, if you're looking for the next train simulation managerial kind of game, Railway Empire 2 will get you your feel during May. As I mentioned, 25th of May 2023 is the release date. History in the making in 1830, at the dawn of the age of railways, build a grand railway empire from scratch and choose from 60 detailed historic locomotives that you can customize with your preferred colors and company initials. A sprawling landscape, endless possibilities, improved track construction. Link tracks is easier than ever with automatically placed signals, bridges that can hold up to 4 tracks, train stations with up to 8 tracks, and new train station attachments to customize your stations. The land also adapts to your track layout as your tracks cross mountains, valleys, and plains. Enjoy the view, ride along your train, and see the landscape rush by from the inside of the wagons or from the front seat in the driver's compartment of the steam engine. If this sounds like your kind of game, if you like Sheldon, love trains, then maybe give it a go when it comes out. The last game on this list is called Vault Experts, and it is an advanced version of the classic search and destroy mode. Row, vote, and scale walls as you shoot down the enemy. The shrinking magnetic field and scan grenades constantly keep you on the move. Work with your teammates to pull off incredible team play moves. Releasing sometime apparently in May 2023, but take this with all the grains and pinches of salt you can because it doesn't seem to be a fixed date. Developed and published by Nexon Games Company Ltd. And Nexon does what Nexon does, yet another competitive shooter from the Korean team. It looks visually beautiful and impressive. I hope the performance is well made. For a game that's competitive, performance is extremely important because that's where high FPS and refresh rates thrive, and people normally go for those. Um, Not much to say about it. That other than they had some beta tests, alpha beta test, closed tests, and those are now over. So it's probably already time to release. Steam says May 2023, but I'm not seeing any official info on their website. And I guess time will tell. But it looks like an interesting new free-to-play online co-op shooter. Hopefully they don't fuck it up with the monetization. Hopefully it's just cosmetics and stuff like that. Um, but I wouldn't mind giving it a try, as long as it doesn't launch too close to the Diablo 4 launch. Because I'll be very busy at the end of May, preparing for the Diablo 4 early access. Other than that, if you're looking for a new PvP free to play online shooter with team based gameplay, Veiled Experts seems to be the new kid on the block. And whether it will be popular, time will tell. To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer want to be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye.